Так, привет снова всем любителям страшных игр. Возвращаюсь к ней спустя продолжительное время, больше, наверное, чем... Ну, не наверное, а точно больше, чем полмесяца. И я нашел в настройках русский язык. Почему-то у меня стоял здесь английский. Ну, не совсем русский, как бы загрузка есть, а вот картинки сами не переведены. Ну, это так понятно, что на Shift это у нас ускорение, встать и карабкаться на пробел, красться, ну или ползти на Ctrl, взаимодействовать на левую клавишу мыши, а передвигаться на стрелочки. Угу. Конечно, на стрелочки.
Hey, sweetie. Did you finish your drink already? Careful. It might break. Now it'll only be a minute. Mommy just has to make sure that the cake is perfect. Let's see. There and there. Perfect. Oh, look at you. You're so adorable in your tiny footed pajamas. Happy birthday, sweetie. Wow, 2 years today. Oops. I think I know a little someone who's ready for some cake. Chugga 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 choo choo. Here it comes through the tunnel. Choo choo. I'll be right back.
Да, иди открой, я пока важными делами позанимаюсь. Считаю это.
What are you doing?
Следует то, что ты не получаешь.
No!
Что нет? Ты не согласна, что это твоя зарплата? Сама посчитай.
Hey, you. Look what I found. I wonder what it is. Why don't we go upstairs and find out?
А здесь никак нельзя, нет? Тебе обязательно нужно подниматься, тянуть время.
Oh my! How much cake did you have?
2 куска. Ты сама мне их давала. Но снизу это не очень фотогенично. Ну да, так получше. Когда я тебя не вижу, ты более симпатична. Ночь расползается.
Here we are. Now let's see what's inside. Maybe it's a new toy. Okay, sweetie. Be a dear and play for a bit. Mommy will be right back.
Я уже видел. Видел, что там. Ну что ж, для тех, у кого нет настоящих игрушек, можно в эту игру поиграть. Ух ты! Еще разок.
The playpen was actually quite a different thing because we wanted people to make sure that they were careful with the baby. So we placed the pillow underneath so when he fell down, you wouldn't feel like you were harming the kid.
And also the whole playpen's role is to introduce the player to all the mechanics of crawling and climbing, and moving objects. So we wanted to do something like this where the player is the goal is the present, and the player will hopefully want to get the present, and you can see it. That's why it's framed like it is when you get put down in the playpen, and then you have to just learn how to do the mechanics.
Подушка, чтобы мягче было прыгать на нее. Но я так понимаю, мне нужно снова добраться к игрушке. Какие у нас тут все кирпичи лежат. Про слона я что-то уже смотрел.
I enjoy the pink elephant in level 1. In the start it was I made this ugly dinosaur that people thought was an elephant, and they said in game, find the pink elephant, and it was not an elephant. So I figured, hey, I'll have to make an elephant, and I made the most glorious elephant you've ever seen.
Нету игрушки.
So that's my favorite prop in Among the Sleep.
Там был мишка. Конечно, рассказчик интересный. I enjoy pink elephant. Он даже не вмещается в коробку. Ну ладно, и так сойдет. Ух ты, какой мощный поезд, меня даже катает.
Hey, you found me.
Нашла.
My name is Teddy. Nice to meet you. Hey, what's your name? Not much of a talker yet, eh? Let's play a game.
Я тебе вообще-то сломаю.
I know. I'll hide the pink elephant while you're not looking. Come here. Turn around and cover your eyes.
А если я сейчас выйду из игры, он не обидится?
There. You can look now.
Ну, вообще даже милая игра.
Colder.
Ты отсюда пришел.
Still cold. Warmer. Super warm.
Ага, я сейчас туда зайду и провалюсь в темное помещение, как как в хрониках Нарнии, прям шкафчик, который переносит в другой мир.
this is really crucial what she says here, because your mother will berate you kind of playfully, saying like, "Why are you always hiding from mommy?" That's a little hint that you know that something is wrong with her, but it's said playfully. So yeah, so we kind of wanted to. Once you play it again, maybe you'll see this as like a more serious thing than it is. But it's so important because for the ending to showcase that the mother actually is, you know, very loving. So we still needed to make her a very important and warm figure.
And the main thing we wanted to do in this, the first level here, was to make the player feel something for the mother. Because the mother, she is the main objective of the game. You want to get back to her. And that won't have any weight behind it at all if the player doesn't have any kind of relationship to her. So that was pretty hard to do, and we still could have gone a little further, I think. But at least now, after this sequence, the player will recognize the mother when he sees her, and you will know it's your mother, and that at least... but most people have good relationships to their mothers, so...
В общем, не надо прятаться от мамы. И основная идея игры в том, что... Ну, вернее, не идея игры, а важную роль играет мама почему-то в этой игре. И желание вернуться к ней. ННН. Ничего не написано.
Super warm. You found it.
А я думал, что...
Wow. Is that a music box? Does it work?
Давайте сейчас толкнем мячик в него. Вот этим легче будет попасть. Еще разок, может, какое-то достижение получу.
It's effective and slow-paced enough that you can sort of still kind of experience the room with Teddy and bond with him. Was the initial goal, like you wanted to
Do you
introduce
think
him
the music
as well as
box
the mother.
still works?
That this is people that are friendly and you should care about them, and yeah, they will be basically the two only NPCs you will interact with during the whole game. Well, excluding the DLC, which will.
In earlier iterations, the players didn't really have any connection to Teddy, because all you did was pick him up and he would order
Do you
you
think
around.
the music
and
box still
you
works?
didn't do things together with him. He just told you stuff and you would move on really quickly. So we made it a lot more, slow paced, and made
That's
sure the
a
player
nice melody.
kind of gets to know him.
Что мне с ней сделать нужно? Как ты разбрасываешь?
What's this? Five thirsty animals upon a dry, dry hill. We could use a drink, they sang, and started to drill. Unless we reach water with our newly dug well, I think we'll have to bid each other fare thee well. Oh! Does it run? How do you start it? Round and round and round. Hey, Pick me up and carry me on your back. I want to show you something. We need someplace very dark. How about your closet? It has to be darker. Shut the doors completely.
Я специально поставил тут
It has to be
ящик
darker. Shut the doors completely.
для того, чтобы не закрылись сами. Я маленькую щелочку могу оставить.
Good. This will do nicely.
А, сейчас мама будет
I
искать.
hope there are no monsters in here. If you ever feel scared in a dark place like this, you can hug me tightly. You might feel a little bit safer.
Ты, мне кажется, меня подставил. Тедик. Ты реально меня подставил. Что-то мне даже обнимая тебя не очень тут безопасным кажется. Мама знает, что тут в шкафу столько всего интересного.
I don't think we're supposed to be here. We must be careful. I don't like this.
Я не вижу тут ничего.
Teddy also is interesting as he is your friend, and of course he walks around when it's safe, but when it's not, he's on your back and you can use him as an ability. It was sort of our version of, like, we didn't want to have a flashlight because it's kind of cheesy, but in this way it's sort of a metaphorical flashlight. It gives you comfort and sort of makes things feel different and a bit safer. But also he's like this, he has a restriction because you want to be able to walk as fast or crawl or climb with him. So if you see a monster, it could suddenly be a limitation to have Teddy out. I think that was a good design choice we actually made with having Teddy like this, because it frees you up but it limits you at the same way, so it changes the rules of the game a bit.
В общем, понятно. Мишка этот вроде как делает мир безопаснее, но не на нашей стороне. Вроде как друг, но и предает нас таким образом. Таким-то каким. Ладно. С ним будет карабкаться и ползти медленнее, поэтому придется выключать его, когда будут монстры. Можно сохранить? Нельзя.
I think something's coming. Did you hear that?
This is really crucial what she says here, because your mother will berate you kind of playfully, saying like, why are you always hiding from mommy? That's a little hint that you know that something is wrong with her, but it's said playfully, so yeah. So we kind of wanted it to, once you play it again, maybe you'll see this as like a more serious thing than it is. But it's so important because for the ending to showcase that the mother actually is, you know, very loving. So we still needed to make her a very important and warm figure.
And the main thing we wanted to do in this the first level here was to make the player feel something for the mother, because the mother, she is the main objective of the game. You want to get back to her, and that won't have any weight behind it at all if the player doesn't have any kind of relationship to her. So that was pretty hard to do, and we still could have gone a little further.
What
I
are you
think.
doing in the
But
closet?
at least now, after this
are
sequence,
you
the player will
playing with your new
recognize
friend?
the mother when he sees her,
Hello,
and he will know
Mr.
it's
Bear.
her mother.
Nice to
and
meet you. How are
that,
you today?
At least, yeah. But most
You've
people
got
have
to
good
stop
relationships
hiding
to the
from
mothers.
Mommy.
So
I hope you had a good birthday, hun. Mommy would be very sad if you didn't. And now it's time for bed. If you go to sleep now, you can wake up early tomorrow and play with your friend all day. Every little boy and girl are sleeping now, all over the world. And they're waiting just for you. We shouldn't keep them. Good night, hun. Sweet dreams.
If you look in the hallway when you go into the hallway, I love the lighting here. How it sort of frames it really well. Like the lighting is so good at times that it hides a lot of things around it, and what it shows, like it sets the mood really well. I remember we were at GTC showing it, and I think there were some people coming from a couple of big studios to study how the lighting actually was in the game. Do you guys remember who? There was someone.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
A lady
yeah.
from DreamWorks.
That's so cool. Like they came out to check out how the lighting worked in our game, and they were interested, and they were like, yeah. And you can clearly see it some places. That's like the first hallway for me always does it when the light goes off after you've been thrown out.
And in this hallway, there are also objects that are placed there for with the purpose of telling the story, for narrative purposes, and that is the boxes with the cardboard boxes, to make it look like they are moving out, or if they have just moved into the house.
Here you start hearing like the first kind of scary sound of the level, which is the dishwasher. Washing machine with the later turn off. And a lot of the sounds that are in here are sort of meant to simulate a bit like recognizable, but also a bit airy. So you want to really place them hopefully until you can see them. That was a lot of the approach for the audio, at least for the ambience.
In this hallway you meet the first challenge of the game. At least the first challenge we designed, I guess. Just a simple explanation of what kind of physical challenges the child could go through. That an adult person in a game doesn't have to go through. Where a door is just something you just pass through as an adult, you as a child actually have a physical challenge there and might have to stand on top of something and drag that over to the door before you're able to go for any further. And this is used later in the game as well to build upon the stress moment of having something chasing you, and just a physical block that stops you from getting away.
В общем-то, и так рассказали, что нужно делать.
Thank you. Something's not right. We need to find your mother. A little fun trivia is that the Teddy being put in the washing machine is had I guess a deeper purpose in an earlier iteration of the game, where like we touched upon earlier barely, where Teddy was the antagonist of the game, of the story, and so we wanted the player to see Teddy being carried out of the room by something seemingly invisible, and then being put. If Teddy was put in the washing machine and something horrible happens to him, then the player would. We hope that the player would not suspect Teddy.
То есть Тедди Бэр — это антагонист. Антагонист, ну, плохой персонаж. Если бы с ним что-то случилось плохое, то с нами не случилось бы ничего плохого. Может, вернуть его туда? Не хочешь туда?
I must just say I love the sound of the gate here. It sounds almost like a lion or a tiger or something like that. It's perfect, as it just emphasizes the way when scared you can put character into small things like a door creak.
Мне очень нравится звук скрипящих дверей.
Shh. We have to be very quiet. We can't let it find us.
was a really good sign for us developing that people would get scared at something as small as that, because it just means that they're on edge with the setting and all, and that we have done that part correctly, which I guess is more than half of making the game scary.
Piano. Since the kid, of course, can't play a piano properly, we spent hours and days making sure that when you click on the piano, it will be as accurate a representation of a kid playing piano as we possibly could. So we have like a fantastic board. Every time we play the piano, I think.
Also, this event with the apples, I'm also really fond of. Just the hearing sound and seeing something physical and moving just makes the physical presence of whatever dangerous thing is in the house just feel a lot more real and a lot scarier. But I am also very sad because something happened to the, I don't know what, but the apples and how they roll. They don't. I spent too much time tweaking that. That was one of the first events I think I was tweaking. I was like, oh yeah, look at this. How they're rolling is perfect, and then something messed up the value, and they don't. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it completely ruins the game, like
Yes.
all those apples roll.
In general, this is how we feel when we play this game, because we spent 3 years playing this game, and every day we're like, so what is bad? What do we have to make better? Like what is not good enough? So our mind is still, I think, even like half a year after finishing this game, at this point where we're sort of, I remember this, I should have made it better. And I think we are very easy to see all the faults of this game, whereas you guys are lucky because you actually get to play it in max. We're all sitting here like, I'm not looking forward to that point because I'm gonna have to defend how bad those apples rolled, or
Yeah.
Just icke-frokost. An internal joke. Our animator has brought lunch one day and he accidentally picked the wrong container, which wasn't his breakfast but just cheese from last night's taco. And I think Svein directly jumped into 3DS Max and modeled this container.
Oh, this was, if you go through the hair, I remember you and me, whenever we put it up as a sort of tech demo of, ghostly presence. But I think that worked really well. Like it's just basically a force pushing the plate and it falls in front of you. It's a little jump scare again. And I think the same happens if you go over to the radiator. That's probably the most fun I ever had with this game, was just seeing like, oh look, there's a bear, and it's like suddenly like, psh, and a lot of people flinch really bad at that.
There's H. So I like to think outside the box. Really inside the box.
I think also this was what people saw in the trailer, the teaser, the first thing that got really famous. So think in many ways for a lot of people this was the game for 2 years until they started playing it. And that was also interesting when we worked with the game, to know that this is the expectations. This is defined as what people know the game is. So I think we always kind of try to figure out how can we work on the game, what is the game, and what will people expect, how can we work with that. That was definitely an interesting thing about working with putting sounds in and probably designing everything. Is we have this sort of thing as the not status quo, but as a defining level.
Жутковато.
There's a lot of subtle sound happening in this hallway. There's something behind you, there's something in that creak. I think there's air ventilation going, and it sort of all builds up to the next lighting, which comes behind a few corners.
The reason for this room being so dark is that we wanted to include some rooms where the player would have to use the teddy light mechanic in order to see, because the teddy light is a really good ability in terms of what it means to just that Teddy is the child's best friend and it makes him feel a bit safer. So we made sure to introduce a couple areas in the game that are so dark that you would have to use the teddy light, and of course it's also scary. So.
Ясно. Тогда сразу мишку используем.
So you peek through the door and you see the duvet or the covers moving, and with this we just wanted the players to think that the mother was is lying in the bed, so that when you get over there to and you climb the bed and you pull the covers away, you see that she's not here. And then this is also Teddy's reaction, going, what? She's not here? And then you have a scary event where you can see the door handle being jerked, and it looks like as if someone's trying to get into the room, which is just a representation of the child's distress of being alone and just not knowing where the mother is.
So there's this room right here, the mother's bedroom. It used to be pretty different in terms of what happens when you enter it. And we, through many iterations, it kind of got watered down a bit and ended up being not as effective as it could have been, or as it was earlier in the process. But of course, the earlier version had problems as well, as we couldn't keep it the way it was. But it's went a bit far in the other direction. So it used to be that when you entered this room, the door would slam shut behind you, and you would have to hide under the bed because something was trying to get into the room. And when you tried to go back the way you came through the door, you would open the door and it would be blocked by this brick wall that was suddenly there. And just that moment when players realized that they're blocked in and this is something that they didn't expect at all, that moment was something that was very effective when it worked, and it's something I would have loved to see more of throughout the game. But yeah, as mentioned, that it had a lot of other problems, so we had to change it, and in the process we lost a really cool part. But now everyone who plays through it gets it right anyway. It's better designed now, I think. But
And a lot of the crawl under the bed, I like that.
yeah, people instinctively crawl under the bed in that room. So we kept an important part of the room. Yeah, I think that's also one of the places that's most effective in terms of getting the player to feel that she's a child.